By Jiminy Crickets, it's only Monday. All the information, everything you need is always here. It's Monday. What is it? 11th. It's October. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Russ Kane. This is Men's Radio Station. Another week of fun-filled frolics. I do that just to scare myself, to be honest with you. That's what I do. I do it just to scare myself. Now, I got to be honest with you. Gang, that my mood this morning wasn't sensational. I wasn't. Hey, let's go straight up to Edinburgh for Veronica Curran. Good morning, Russ. Hey, good morning, Veronica. How are you? I hope everything's all right. That I am available, by the way, for voiceovers. If you're looking for something that gives that feeling of credibility, and it was like going up to top of hill when we went to the top of Edinburgh to buy a loaf of bread. I could do that. Now, you're probably wondering, cheers, gang. Won't be a morning without an espresso. Right. You're probably wondering, well, I had to get rid of Phil. Linda, Dave, I'm glad you're there. I don't know how to break it to you. I had to get rid of Phil. He was just too annoying. He was just too annoying. It was his hats, the bloody cravats drove me mad. The fact that in 3,000 degrees centigrade heat, he'd wear a jacket and a waistcoat. He just had to go. He was too freaky. Little Phil Dave, gang, has got man flu. He's got man flu. He's feeling very sorry. I'm sorry to break this to you, Linda, as his mum. I don't know if you knew this. Did you know that's why he wasn't at work today? He's feeling very, very sorry for himself. When I say he's feeling sorry for himself, God almighty, I wouldn't be much use to do today. I got man flu. I'm in great acting form. Veronica Curran, you are terrible. Well, that's not very nice. Now I've gone to Glasgow. I'm not even talking to Edinburgh now. Now I'm in Glasgow. Linda, Dave, hope you're not lonely without Phil. How could I be lonely when I have this hot hunk of horn as my sidekick? Only lovely.
Good morning.
Good morning. Look, what are you sitting on? Are you on a chaise lounge or something?
Kind of. It's called a cuddle chair, I think.
I'll be around in 20 minutes.
I know. Why do you think I'm on it?
Hang on. I just want to check. Is your arm any better, or you got the other arm though, haven't you?
This is the bad arm.
Right.
Okay. Lots of movement. Much better. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. No, it's all about me. I was just wondering. I don't want to, drag all the way to where you live and you got one arm.
I'd manage.
Okay. Foot all right? Knee all right? Does it bend?
Oh, shut up. The knee was never...
Does it bend? I'm asking.
The knee was never a problem.
Oh, okay. All right. Just like to check these things. I like to get the lay of the land, if you see what I'm saying. Right, Ramsey Wymer-Salem. Afternoon all. Managed to avoid work to tune in. Ramsey, you're an air traffic controller. You're in charge of the whole of Heathrow Airport. I think they're going to miss you. Going to be chaos there. I have no idea what Ramsey does. It's something probably very grown up. I just think if he was an air traffic controller, he took the day off so he could tune into the show. Being bloody random, wouldn't he? Veronica Curran, bless Phil. Get vitamin C and D. Boost your immune system. Take care. Glad Lesley doing well. Yeah, Lesley's doing great because she's made of steel, granite, and titanium and concrete. She's tough as old boots. Phil, bless him, is made of paper mache and good wishes and fairy dust and a little bit of foofle dust and some sparkles and a cravat. That's it.
And a hat.
Never forget Phil. People think this is a recent affectation with Phil. As long as I've known him, which is a very long time, and you know that you can only take the piss out of someone when you're very, very fond of them. I'm exceptionally fond of Phil. And he is brilliant at his job. And in the industry, he has an impeccable reputation. I never say that when he's around, because frankly, he's intolerable most of the time. But he has an impeccable reputation. I mean, he really does know his stuff. Oh, hang on. Look at this. Look at this coming. Good afternoon. Firstly, this is nice. Luke Newman. Luke Newman. Good afternoon, Russ. Hope everyone is well. Well, yeah, we're still here, man. We're still here. And Leslie's feeling much better. And then we got this. Poor Phil. Get better soon. And then all the way from Spain, I have to tolerate this when I've got other things to do. Hi, Russ. You naughty man. Phil makes the show.
Technically, maybe. Technically.
No, he doesn't actually. I'm doing that now.
It wasn't today, but...
No, I'm doing it now.
Are you always? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm setting it all up. Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's so rude, Chrissy. Why are you doing that to me? Do my best. Shut up, Chrissy. That's better. I ain't that soft. Right. You've got lots to say, Chrissy Richards. Yeah, none of it we want to hear right now. Now, Lesley.
Yes,
when
my
I woke
darling.
up, I wasn't, I was in a kind of okay mood. I got kind of busy day. And then I looked out, and being absolutely serious, and there was a little robin redbreast. And my mood completely changed in an instant. It was like, boom. And suddenly I had this lovely feeling of, I don't know what, this little robin redbreast hopping around on an outside table. It was so sweet.
Because our late mothers come to us as little robins.
You see, my cousin says this. My
mum's often in my garden hopping about, even though she knows, and she knew full well I am completely phobic about birds. But my mummy comes and sits in the garden whenever I'm out there.
Hey, Veronica likes this. Lesley, your hair is lush. What a lovely colour.
Thank you, Veronica. It is called amethyst chrome.
It's called I'm Ready and Up for It.
You know that. You don't need to push this. Oh, God knows.
Yeah, Lesley is bold with her hair, and I love it because sometimes you go completely purple, and then I call you sort of a couple of months Mrs. Slocum.
Yep.
And that's it. Now, all the way back, let's go back to Spain, another part of Spain. It's very international today, isn't it? Michael Verby. Morning, Russ. Sorry, I'm not in a call with the majority with regard to Bond. I can't talk about it because no spoilers. I will not do any spoilers about No Time to Die on Men's Radio. Absolutely. I won't do it on my social media, and I ain't doing it here. It's controversial. I think so much with life, Lesley. People make up their mind. There's a load of American YouTube things. And I was watching some late last night. And they're ranting and raving. And then the idiot says, oh, I haven't seen it yet, but... And I'm going, shut the hell up, you moron. If you haven't seen it, shut up. What are you doing a YouTube piece about it for? Go and see it. Make up your own mind. But don't just take a position when you haven't seen it. So much of life is like that. Don't you think so, Lesley?
Absolutely. I can't bear it when people comment on things they haven't seen. I have been watching, what's it called? Oh, yes, Squid Game.
Oh, no, it's not. I don't.
It's so weird.
Yes.
But compulsive viewing. I know. It's very weird.
Say it again because we can do a bit of drama. Come on.
What? Compulsive viewing.
Yeah, that's good.
Very bloody, very violent, which I hate. And
like where I live.
sort of screamed out loud a couple of times, and that was watching that, not doing anything else, darling. And but I don't know why I'm watching it, and maybe it's because there's nothing else. Stop.
Here we go. Let's go back to Edinburgh. One day, if she ever meets me, she's going to punch me straight in the face.
It's a loved one. There you go.
Well, you can read it out.
Okay, Veronica. I can't do the accent, but Edinburgh is certainly...
Stop squinting. Just open your eyes. Look more.
Edinburgh is certainly a softer accent than one you've been doing, Russell.
I know Edinburgh is much more charming, but then you go to Glasgow and it's like much more guttural. Edinburgh is much more cultured.
But the most cultured is Inverness, but let's not go there. Anyway, as Veronica says, Robin, it's a loved one. I've got my own garden. Oh, I've got one in my own garden. It brightens my day. Absolutely.
Take two, love. It's all right, Lesley. We've got time. Take two. Still rolling and
shut up. I'm not doing it again. Shut
Robin,
up.
it's a loved one. I've got my own in my garden and it brightens up my day.
Yes.
That's why I get the big pups. What we got here? Oh, do you know Fascinating Aida? Yes,
Yep.
I know them. I actually know them personally. They're
Yep.
fantastic. One of them used to be Izzy Van Randwick, who's a very, very good mate of mine, has been for, God, 25, 30 years. You got Adele, who's in it, not the singer, not the woman who's now lost 300,000 stone and is unrecognizable and still miserable. Not her, the other Adele. And I've forgotten who the other one is. They're just, and Dilly.
Dilly Keane.
Oh, God, is she funny? Is she Fascinating Aida? Absolutely wonderful. Never heard of them, but watched them. They were funny. A bit rude.
They're very rude.
A bit rude. The beautiful thing about Fascinating Aida, and they've been going, what have they been going, Lesley? Like 30, 40 years?
At least. Yep.
30, 40 years. Right. And as imagine Lesley singing, because they look like they come from the village fete and are going to do some flower arranging in the church, and then their mouths. You think I got a bad mouth? Their language is fantastic because they do it all in song. They are hilarious, fascinating. I absolutely love them. What else? More trouble in Spain. We will get on to mental health in a minute, but maybe this is to do with mental health. I don't know. Mike is moaning like hell because he has to get his own apple pie. I'm not his bloody slave. Chrissy, walk out. Enough now. Just walk out.
Why?
You don't
Now,
need him.
for me, I see apple pie,
Yeah,
and I think of that American movie with the pie.
you're disgusting.
I know. I'm disgusting.
You're disgraceful.
Yep.
That's why I love you.
I know you do.
I can't even tell you. Anyway, what I was going to say is going back to the Bond thing, which I saw it was one of the kids yesterday. Make up your own mind. Make up your own mind. The only thing I would say is this: let's put Bond to one side. As Barry J. Allen, I don't know if he should be called the Flash because he says he's late again. I love it. This is the only radio program where people are so lovely. They come on and they apologize if they're slightly late. Have you ever? It's fantastic. I don't phone up the Director General of the BBC. Sorry. Sorry, I wasn't. Not that I'd ever phoned him, but there we go. What did he just give himself as a pay rise? How much was it? It was like a gazillion quid. It was a fortune. A fortune.
I'm looking at you blankly because I have.
Yeah, I can see that. I thought you'd frozen. My God.
No, I'll keep moving,
there.
Darling.
You gave me a not the first time you've said that. Now, what have we got going here? We're disappearing, but there we are. Well, I'll hide Leslie's blush. You can just see my new haircut. Gave myself a bit of a haircut yesterday. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm back in Croydon after a lovely 3-day break with friends in Bournemouth and the New Forest. And hey, Jesus, I had to deal with one abusive middle-aged person in an Indian restaurant on Friday night. Thought of knocking the loudmouth moron out after he verbally abused me after I left the accessible toilet, and then did it again in front of other diners in the restaurant. However, I didn't fancy a fight right in the middle. I didn't fancy a night in the cells. Neither did my mate who's in martial arts. That's all I can read. Unbelievable, isn't it? Now, if you don't know, see, this is not, what is the phrase, lovely Denise? Not all disabilities are visible.
Visible.
What's the phrase?
Yeah.
Visible. Paul has a stoma. All right. Of course he's going to go to the disabled toilet. He had very bad, and there's never a good cancer, obviously, but Paul Claridge, who's a great friend of show and just a terrific man, and has overcome enormous, horrible things in his life, and has a rough job and gets abused on a daily basis, not like me and Phil, I mean properly abused and physically attacked, for handing out free newspapers. It's disgusting. The man is there giving you something for free, for which he wants nothing in return. And people beat him up and abuse him. What is the matter with these people? Are they just raving? I'm sorry to say, are they just nuts? Are they raving mad? Are they that angry? Should they be in an institution? Because they're wandering around And Paul is the most mild-mannered of people. It's extraordinary. I love the way that people take what they want out of a conversation. Here's Ramsey. What does he get out of the whole insult? Which Indian restaurant? Any good? I always like a local recommendations. Ramsey, you're incorrigible. Anyway, did I mention Phil's not well? Yeah,
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I know I did, but I wish him well.
Are you bored with me already? Is that why?
No, I'm adoring having you here. It's better. Oh, this is good news. Look at this. This is fun. Now, Luke Newman reached out to me ages and ages ago. He said, I've written a book, the Mental Health Moles book. And I thought, what the heck is this? And then he sent me a PDF. Get me with my tech talk of the cartoons. And he's just created, and it's just fabulous. So we had him on the show, and I plugged the back end out of it because it's just a great book, the Mental Health Moles book. Harry Redknapp now has a copy of the mental. Well done, Luke. Harry Redknapp. When I was at Capitol, Justin Kings. Do you remember Justin Kings? I'll just nod, pretend you do.
No, I don't.
Justin Kings was one of our newsreaders after Howard Hughes wasn't available.
Maybe I'd left by then.
Probably left. And Justin Kings was doing it. And instead of Harry Redknapp, and Chris Tarrant was away, and Neil Fox was sitting in on the breakfast show. And instead of Harry Redknapp, he called him, it still makes us laugh. He called him Harry Redknob. And by mistake. Well, we tried to continue with the show, but Neil Fox and I got so hysterical with laughter. Cara couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. Justin Kings was covered in embarrassment and couldn't stop laughing. We couldn't get the show back on track. And of course, Neil then clipped it. What we mean when we say a clip, we just take a little recording of it. And all we heard the rest of this show was him going Harry Redknob, which we loved. Anyway, there we are. Richard says, where are we? Richard. Oh, God's sake, Russell. Can't get my eyes. Richard said he liked the James Bond film. Richard Vero, where does Richard Vero live? Think of the most obscure place you could that people tried to escape from. Your starter for 10, Lesley de Meza of Northwest London.
A place people try to escape from?
Yes, I'll give you your first guess. It was also a film.
It's a film and people, I don't know. I've got no idea at all.
Richard Vero, who I was at school with, he lives in Colditz.
Oh my God.
In Germany.
In the castle?
Well, no, he lives right by Colditz is actually a little village. He wouldn't get me. He wouldn't get me there, Richard. Richard keeps saying, come over. And I go, yeah, but I wouldn't be comfortable. I'll tell you why I'm not comfortable in a second. And Richard is part of that history and is heavily involved in sort of Colditz. But I think we had coffee or like lunch, or I can't remember when Richard was last over in the UK. A few years back before the world went mad and we all stopped living. And Colditz, you talk about history repeating itself, lovely de Meza, is one of the epicenters of Nazism. It's still there.
Yes.
It's still there. And Richard tells me these things, that they're armed. They're armed again. It's like an absolute epicenter for far-right fascism. Colditz, no one learns anything.
No.
You see, that affects my mental health. No one learns a thing. How can that be? And no one does anything about it.
Well, but you think of Ridley Road, and I'm watching Ridley Road, and I can't believe though that it's set in 62, 63, and I think to myself, hang on, I was at secondary school then, and yet I wasn't aware of that then. I was aware of the stuff earlier because I'd heard my parents talking about, do you know my front doorbell is just
Amazon, do you need to go? And I can talk about Ridley Road and then you can come back.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much.
I'll take you away for a second. Ridley Road, I wrote last night. We binge watched it. You can get Ridley Road stars Tracy Ann Oberman and the fabulous Eddie Marsan. And I was chatting to them on Twitter last night. I was trying to eke it out and just watch it every Sunday. But we got so gripped that we had to binge watch the whole lot. We saw, so we watched episodes 2, 3, and 4 all in one hit. you haven't seen Ridley Road, it's gut-churningly good. It's so tense. I honestly was watching it, and my stomach was like knotted up. It's really, really good. It's on BBC One, and what's she got? Some delivery from someone. Oh, it arrived
For someone very special.
Oh,
Well, sorry, darling, but as it's our birthdays this week, that's obviously an early birthday present for me.
Wowza. Wow. Veronica Curran had a good guess, unlike you. She said Alcatraz. Good try. No. And Harry Redknapp, Luke Newman says he wound down his window. He wanted to sign me, but at the age of 40, my knee isn't right. So I gave him the book instead. Oh, Luke, that's a shame because I wanted to see you playing, in goal for Tottenham. And you can't believe these people. Paul Claridge, Ramsey. It's back to this bloody Indian restaurant. It's called Eye of the There are days, and I suddenly think, and I think I'm mad. Ramsey, it's called the Eye of the Tiger. It's the centre of Bournemouth. The food is amazing, the staff are lovely, and the prices are very reasonable. So all you need to do is spend £75, getting down to Bournemouth, and then you can have a nice meal.
Well, not if the clientele insult you. And actually, it's really weird. Bournemouth, I'm sorry to say this, but I always think of old people when I think of Bournemouth.
You think of us then?
I actually
think of us?
my granny, but that's another story. But us as well. Except, I don't think of myself as an old person.
No, I know. You don't.
Do you think of me? Don't go there, actually. Forget it.
But, no, of course I don't. That's because I've known you forever. So, of course I don't.
That's right.
Kimmy Lashmar, where is he? Where is who? Kimmy, what does this mean? Where is he? We talking about God, the baby Jesus?
Ramsey,
who are we talking about?
Paul Claridge.
Where is it? We don't know who he's talking about. Kimmy Lashmar. Do you know Kimmy was my first passenger on the Flying Eye? Can you believe that?
Really?
Yeah, she really was. I think she was. Yeah, pretty well. Weren't you, Kimmy? Yeah, a billion years ago, 1984, 85. Yeah. Oh, Kimmy, if you try and keep up, he's not well. You can either accept the fact, one, I prefer Lesley to Meza. She's more attractive. She's wittier. She's funnier, and she's cheaper. Or Phil Dave's got the flu. It's one of the two. You choose. Fill the missing link. Well, this is true. I'm surprised that David Attenborough hasn't done a whole show about it. He's got. Oh God! Yes, he's got the man flu. Can we move on? Even when he's not here, his shadow casts a long pall over the surrounding thing. Oh, for God's sake! Now what?
I know.
Now what?
I don't
What are you? You know what I'm going to do?
Go on.
Gang,
Blank me out.
I've got no. You're going to go and answer the phone.
Yeah.
Right. Goodbye. Now, last week I interviewed someone. I hope this works because I am to tech what Vincent van Gogh was to tap dancing. Right. I interviewed the fabulous Sherrie Hewson, and I'll tell you why I did. Because, we were talking about getting older and stuff like that. And Sherrie came on because her subject that she wanted to talk about was, as we get older, are we still tech savvy? If this works, it's a genius. If not, I'll be back in 2 seconds. So this is me and Sherrie Hewson. If it works, fabulous. If not, I'll be back in 3 seconds. Good to see you. Look at you in fuchsia.
Fuchsia. It does look, but it is fuchsia.
It's very, very nice. Very nice. I'm pleased I'm pleased you got dressed up. I shoved my head under a tap.
Well, you don't have to do any more, you see.
I love you, Sherrie.
You have nothing to fear in life. I do.
I wish that were true. Now, I've been advised by geniuses that you are here to discuss the rise of digitally savvy seniors.
Well,
first of all, why are you even speaking on behalf of seniors? Surely
I was just about to
teenagers.
say, I think the demographics got nothing to do with it. I think it's to do with us being digitally alive. Now, the pandemic, you see, I think has done a lot for people. I just wish my mum was still alive because she was quite lonely later on, and she had one of those stupid little phones, that we all used to have that you couldn't even see the face of. She had
call them flip phones because they don't do anything.
Nokias or whatever they're called. Now, if you'd have had an iPhone then, and she only died about 9 years ago, but she would have done all this app thing, you see, because she was quite savvy, Mum. Wow. Oh yes, blimey. She was very savvy, and she'd have loved it because I must have about 50 apps on my phone, but then I'm a kind of I have a thing about, you see, I've got grandchildren who stick apps all over my phone. One is like a fat app. So if I take a photo of you, you'd be 30 stone within a minute.
Well, that sounds about right.
Farting app. Have you seen the farting app? You have to get this for Christmas Day because you can have it by your side and you press it, it goes.
You do know that
is the ones I'm actually saying one should buy.
That is totally my level of humour. You know that. I'd play with that for hours.
It's called the fart app. You've got to get it.
Love that.
But I have your usual. You're like British Rail, British Airways. Now, all those kind of things we can't do anymore.
You have British Airways just to reminisce.
And look at those planes taking off and landing. Yes, and I have things like Grammarly.
Yeah, Grammarly, love Grammarly.
Oh, have you? Oh,
yeah, I use it all the time. I'm writing all the time. I find it very useful.
It is very useful, isn't it? And I have calculators. I have things like that. But on Readerly, which is what this is, if you press it, you go to 5,000 outlets. So you have mags, papers, everything. So you can. It's $7.99 a month, which is something I'll just come on to in a minute. But if you press it, say you go to a magazine and you want to go on holiday, you can press a certain magazine and it would show you where to go, what to look for. So on a train or a plane or a bus or whatever, you can have these. And I think it would have been fantastic for my mum to being able to look at, without having to go all the way down the road to the shop to buy a magazine. Not that you shouldn't buy magazines. I don't say that, you should. But to have it there is fantastic, isn't it? And also I do think we all have to look into the future a bit and kind of join in with society, and get up with the kids a bit.
Do we though? Do we?
Well, we have. Actually, I love it. I mean, I've got all sorts of ones on my phone. I mean, like just things that if I'm on a train for a long time, it's just an interesting thing for me to do. I do like reading, so I have a Kindle. And all of those. Yep, we all do that. And I do like, I have one called Lenza. Now, you won't have heard of this because you're too young.
Oh, bless you. I love you even more than I already did, and that's hard to say, but go on. Well,
Lenza is... So if you go on it can make your eyes wider, your nose smaller, chin. You can have... Without
are you using it now on the camera?
No, I forgot. But it's
I think our mutual friend Debbie Arnold actually just sticks Lenza over her head if she goes down to Tesco.
She's got a hat which
it's Lenza. She goes, "Hello, I'll have some peas." And stuff like that.
It is. You're so right. But I do think it's important. I'll tell you what, though, with that Readerly, if you go into it now, like in October, you get 2 months free, which I think is really very good. That's good. It's only $7.99 a month anyway. But I do think it's important that we all, connect to this world that we live in somehow. And it helps me connect to my grandkids, you see, because I kind of understand, like I've got a TikTok account.
Oh, you're kidding me. God damn.
Oh, no, and I kind of got to love it. And I know my mum would have loved it, you see. So the demographics, though, you see, they're saying senior, and I think that's unfair because I think it's
I'm going with what I was reliably informed.
Well, given, I totally understand that, but I don't think it's right. I think it's for everybody. We should all get on with it and move into this world. I mean, do you have lots of apps on your phone?
My favorite is a weird thing. When I'm sitting and watching a plane, if I'm bored, like I'm having a drink or having a cigar or something, I got a thing called Flight Radar. And
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
it's great.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, that's the, so-and-so airline coming in for it's amusing. And you can watch the whole thing land. And I don't know why. I like
Well,
that.
my
favorite
grandson, Oliver, wants to be a pilot. So he's got all those things, like in his bed, simulator things on all the computer things.
Now,
And
if you were a very good grandma, you'd get the new Microsoft flight simulator. It's only about £3,100 billion, but it's come out after many years. It's the brand new 2021 one.
Oh, he's probably told me that.
I've had it, but Grandma, it's nearly Christmas.
It won't cost much.
It was really great, and you're helping me. You can't let me.
I know, and you love me, don't you?
Oh,
yes,
God.
I do, Oliver. Well, then, if you love me.
Otherwise, I'll find somebody else to love.
Oh, yes, I'll find another grandma. A better one than you.
Yeah, better one. And she'd give me Flight Simulator 21.
She'd give me everything. And
everything I ever wanted, including a Lamborghini. The other thing I love is you like reading on Kindle. I've got Kindle, and it's very clever. I do prefer books. I have no idea.
I do.
It's the interaction of the paper. I'm old-fashioned. I don't.
No, I do too. I do too. And I love the turning of a page.
Yeah.
And going back to the turning of a page.
Yeah.
And that kind of excitement when you didn't turn that next page because you'll go, I'll wait till tomorrow. That's how sad my life is.
Precisely. Yeah. No. But I do this. I do the same. But I walk because I like walking the dog. I walk like 3 to 5 miles a day with my little dog. She's 12. She hates it, but she's coming out anyway.
Yeah, but she's going.
Yeah, she's going. I listen to Audible books the whole time. So
yes.
I have Audible books on the go.
Yes, no, I agree. I mean, you see, you're doing it yourself. You're creating that world for yourself. And I just think, particularly since the pandemic, I think there's been a reason for these, this app world that we, to learn new things, I think is exciting anyway.
Yes.
And I think we're all getting slightly into that mode now, I've got to. I can't. I mean, a lot of people don't want to go out. Still, they don't want to go to a theatre. They don't want to go to a cinema. Well, there you are. So I think we're creating our own world within ourselves, and I think this Readerly thing, is when you can go to 5,000 outlets and you can go on all those mags and all those newspapers, and you can do it yourself, and then you can go back to it. Or it can then make you go to another magazine which you didn't think of. I just think it's the way forward. I know it sounds like we're kind of locking ourselves down, but we're not. We're just making life simpler, I think, and easier for ourselves.
Just so that the Readerly will be happy. And I'll be honest, I'd never heard of it, so thank you for bringing it to our attention. It's got a database of, you're saying, what, 5,000 magazines?
Yeah.
And instead of having to subscribe to those magazines, which you normally would have to, all those newspapers, boom, you're straight in.
$7.99 a month. Yeah.
Well, that's the cost of like 1.5 magazines because they're not cheap.
That's right. And also, you've then got the paper thing going on. How many trees do we cut down? So and then you throw the magazines away. You see, this is where I think this will come into its own. Because it's in the newspapers, unless you're eating fish and chips out of newspapers, or your dog is pooing on a newspaper. What do you do with the newspaper? You throw it away, and that's terrible.
You recycle it so that somewhere a beautiful tree grows from the Sun newspaper.
Well, one would hope, but then why cut it down in the first place?
Well,
you see,
I don't know. I couldn't. Something. It's interesting. I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a newspaper because I think it was a habit. It was a habit, wasn't it?
Well, it is a complete habit.
I don't read them.
I'm the same.
But I've never gone into a shop and bought a newspaper. And I think that my dad, who died 21 years ago, when I was a little boy, on the way home from his work, he would buy 3 evening newspapers.
No.
New Star or Standard, New Star or Standard. And you'd buy 3 evening. This was what people
How
did.
crazy is that? The only
Yeah,
one I
yeah.
like is the Evening Standard still, but it's got so thin now.
Well, because it's free, of course. I mean, the evening.
I know, but I only buy it for the crossword anyway. So
Well, you can do. Listen, Mrs. Savvy, you can go and do crosswords online. There's a
I
million.
know. It's
apps
just I
for
have a
that.
thing, and like we all do, ever
Yeah.
since I can remember, of doing the Evening Standard crossword. I can't
There
get
you go.
out of it. It's an obsession, and I can't. It's just one of those things. It's
Do you
I don't know what
finish it? Do you
Sorry?
finish it? Do you manage to
Yes, I
complete it?
tried to finish it.
Uh-huh.
I tried to
Okay.
finish it, but I've just got a thing about it. I don't know what it is. It must be something like in childhood. It's like instead of having a dodie, I have the evening
Having a what?
standard. A
Having
dummy. A
Oh,
dummy.
Okay.
I have the Evening Standard. Not to
Okay.
suck. I don't suck the Evening
No,
Standard.
well, I mean it's an
That-
interesting visual image you've just presented
Yes,
us
and,
with,
you
but
know,
I'm gonna,
that kind of
that
print.
would just be,
Blech,
that'd be,
blech.
that'd just be just absolutely gust. It's interesting though, very very quick. Because I know how busy you are today, but my kids won't go near social media, won't touch it,
What?
won't go near it at all. They loathe it. They don't do anything.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
they're
my
smart.
grandkids, they all.
That's a different matter. That's a different matter. But my kids, the twins are 23 and the other two are way older.
And they don't touch it.
They won't go near it. No, don't go near it.
I wonder why.
And if I tell you that one of them is incredibly senior at Facebook, that just tells you the irony of it.
Wow.
I mean, very senior. You won't tell me what he does. I have no idea.
That's a very interesting thing. I wonder why. There must be a reason that they won't touch it.
Yeah, they don't like it. They don't like it. They don't trust. It was very interesting. One of the twins went to Oxford to read English literature. The other went to Bath to do mechanical engineering. And they said it took up too much time. They needed to get on. I didn't say it. I mean, they look at me like a complete idiot.
And I agree
I'm on
with
social
them.
media.
No, but I do.
It's true.
Yeah, I totally agree with them. But then on the other hand, we all live in that world, don't we?
I think, Sherrie, the point is there's a big difference between what you're talking about, which I think can be productive, can be educational, like getting a proper app, and mucking about on social media, having some stupid argument with an idiot who you're never going to persuade.
No, I agree with that.
That's
completely.
a total waste of time.
Yeah.
It's
a total waste of time.
Yeah, it is. And it's annoying. And you don't want to get aggravated by people you're never going to meet. You don't
exactly.
know them.
I say, if you're told, you don't interact with people. Never interact with them because you're giving them exactly what they want.
I know.
All you do, if you have any comment that you don't like, you block that person.
Yeah, precisely.
You don't have a conversation.
You've been in show business, like you're showbiz royalty. I'm putting it out there.
I think.
Well, there was you.
I think that's when I started.
That'd be silly, but showbiz royalty, right? And I've never understood. And I must let you go. But people say, I don't like such and such a show. Blah, blah, blah. And I would go, switch it off, you idiot.
Don't
watch
like
it. Don't bloody watch it.
But it's because they feel they have an anonymous voice. So therefore they can say anything they wish.
Precisely.
Because they haven't got a life, basically.
I know.
And so they do it anonymously. And but as soon I did what only once in my life I questioned this dreadful person who was saying awful things. I never do. And the answer back to me was, oh my God, I didn't realize you would read it. And I said,
there you go.
From there on in, I just block.
Yeah, it's the best thing.
That is what?
Do you know what, Sherrie? It's life enhancing.
Yes.
It's life enhancing just to go, oh, sod off.
Block.
Them.
You're out of my
life.
life.
You don't need it. You wouldn't have a row with them standing in the queue at Asda on the checkout. So forget it. It's been so lovely talking to you.
It's so lovely seeing you. Wonderbird. Come and see.
I would love to come back on Wonderbird.
Right, I'm doing it today. I'm sorting you out today.
Okay. It's a brave thing that I've just agreed to. Thank you so much. I know you're
brave.
busy day. Enjoy all your apps. Enjoy Readerly. Bye.
Bye.
She was great. Sherrie Hewson there. Oh, look, you finished. Have you answered all your doors and opened all your... What the hell's going on there?
Well, it's something called popularity. Actually, the phone call is the best.
Hang on, stop. Pop.
I know.
I don't know what that word is.
You do. You know you do.
I don't.
You're searching for compliments.
No, I'm really not. I don't do that. Graham Simpson, I started my own social media site for the over 60. Oh, for God's sake. Graham, very good. Well done. That's very good.
Can I just tell you something? The phone call, my best friend in the whole world who I've known.
I think you're talking to him.
No, I've actually known her longer than you. She and I have known each other our whole lives. Phoning me to say, I know you're doing a live broadcast, but I can't find the radio station. How do I find it? Me, darling, it is live. Go away. I'll let you know later. I mean, yeah.
Life.
I do it. Shout out now. Sally Miller, you are daft.
Well, she was your best friend, and frankly,
yeah, I know.
She doesn't like you. Now there's going to be a row that could last. This could last longer than my late first mother-in-law's row about the apple pie, which only lasted for some years. You think I'm joking, but it's a time for another story. Now, you came on to talk about something very, very important. I'm wondering, do you have time to do it now? I've got 20 minutes.
I do have time to do it now if you want me to. Or I could.
No, or we'll have you back on Wednesday anyway if you're around.
No, you won't. No, Wednesday I'm not available.
Oh, don't play hard to get, for Christ's sake.
Darling.
You were thankful to me.
Shut up. Wednesday, I'm doing my voluntary stint in the charity shop, and then
they don't want you there. You scare people. No, you scare people.
Excuse me, and then I'm being taken out to lunch because Wednesday is my special day, whereas I think your special day is it either Tuesday or Thursday?
Neither of them, you idiot. That's how well you know me. Right? Do you know? There's neither of them. Right. You're here to talk. It's not.
Well, when is it then?
Friday.
Okay.
Let's not go there.
Oh, then I'll come on Friday.
Oh, Jesus. Right. So come on. Now you're here but apart from to give me a hard time, you're here to talk about something you said. Do you want me to talk about it? I thought, well, yes. Let's break some ground here on MRS. Let's do that because 50% of our audience. And hello to Elizabeth Green in New York City. So we've got Spain, Germany, New York. I love it. Fantastic. Scotland. Right, come along. Off you go.
It's really quite funny if I think about it because I wanted to talk to you about menopause, perimenopause, and something to do with postmenopausal bleeding. And the best thing is, with menopause, half my brain kind of atrophied, as long with other bits of my body that atrophied.
Easy.
Okay, I'm going to go there in a minute. But this morning, because I forget everything, morning, what time did I think we were broadcasting?
You started sending me messages at 11 o'clock. Can't see anything. I said, we don't start till 12.
Because
me at 11.
At my age or postmenopausally, the brain doesn't come back.
Does it not?
Okay. Menopause.
Can we just stop? Does it really not? Do you feel not as smart as you were?
Yeah.
Because I don't know any different. I'm not being facetious. To
me, you're the same. You knew me Are you talking about you don't know any different with me or with yourself?
No, with me, I've given up. But with you, you're the same.
I know I'm not. I mean, I know that I can be having a conversation, as I did last night with a friend on the telephone. And I said to her, what's the word I want? And she was filling in my gaps and I was filling in hers.
Yeah, but we all get that. And
I know, but
that's not fair because I haven't had the menopause.
Well,
we live in a woke society. I'm unlikely to.
No, because maybe the menopause makes one listen a bit more than talk, Russell Kane.
No,
exactly. You haven't had it, although I don't know anything about men's menopause. I really don't. I know about little blue pills, but I don't know about men's menopause. But menopause is something that people, I don't think, talk about enough.
No, they don't.
When I first started working in sexual health with young people, somebody said to me, well, we should introduce menopause into the curriculum. And I said, oh, what for? They don't need to know. They're not ready for it. They're miles away from it. Having been through it, I realized that actually it would be useful then for young people to know what's happening to their mothers. Because
good idea.
it affects menopause. Doesn't just affect the person that's going through it, but also everyone else. Do you know I managed to list 34 symptoms of what's called perimenopause? Menopause is when your periods have stopped completely, when all that's finished and you haven't had any periods for a year. Perimenopause are all the symptoms that lead up to it. And
so it's pre, in other words.
It's pre, but it's pronounced peri, but it's pre. Bit like peri peri chicken, I guess.
Or no, that's a bit like either pericomo or.
You are such a bugger, you really are.
See.
But it's so misunderstood. It's when I started going through it, I didn't know what was happening. I really didn't. I actually thought I was losing my marbles. And mine came in the form of losing focus completely. I didn't get hot flushes, but suddenly my hair would be soaking wet and so would the back of my neck be, but I didn't feel hot. I was crying for all sorts of reasons, but for no reason. So if somebody really, truly, if someone was nice to me, I'd cry. If they weren't nice, I'd cry. And if people just talk to me, and I'm really not exaggerating, the weird thing for me is when this started, I was actually working in the NHS.
Right.
Which is probably the least healthy organization I have ever worked for, because I have yet to find anybody working in the NHS who is cared for and supported through anything they're going through. I really
God.
I have a very close relative, and I can't and won't say exactly who. Oh, for God's sake, the phone again. Should I just tell them to go away? Should I tell the phone to go away?
Just tell them what you like.
Oh, go away.
You know, with life.
Can't talk to you now.
I can't, with life, you try.
Sorry, I've got rid of it.
Out. You want to do a proper program, and what does she do? She answers the phone.
No, listen, I'm really sorry.
Don't worry about it. Go on.
Anyway, this person who is a close relative works in the NHS. Often has to go into operating theatres as part of their work, and is going through perimenopause. This person has to wear PPE as well as all the other things that you have to wear in an operating theatre: head covering, masks, gloves, the whole lot, and said to their boss, I'm finding this really difficult with the PPE plus all the surgical garments because I'm going through menopause, and was told, well, you just have to do it. And
that's very caring. That's very caring.
Very caring
and
very
embracing,
sharing.
And it shows a deep knowledge of your staff.
And one of the things that happened after this, of course, was panic attacks, anxiety attacks, which are, again, another symptom of perimenopause. There are so many awful symptoms, and people just don't get that.
Lesley, why is it that it takes a little radio station like us and you, not me, you, because you put it forward and I said great idea. Why don't we know more about this? Because as a guy, if you have a partner or loved ones, you want to know. So that's why I said yes, men's radio. I think this is completely apt.
Exactly.
You don't want it tucked away on Women's Hour.
No, but of course,
problem.
And they have done it, and they have talked about it on breakfast TV. But it's just one of those things that we're not talking about enough. And the reason I wanted to bring it to you on men's radio station is because it actually has huge implications if you're involved in a partnership that involves sex. Because women, people with vaginas. Shall I be right on about this?
I thought I had a cervix now, all of a sudden, at my age.
No, you don't have a cervix, don't you?
Thank you.
Prostate.
No, precisely.
But one suffers vaginal dryness, which makes vaginal sexual intercourse, particularly uncomfortable. Sore is worst, uncomfortable at best. Also, lack of libido. I'm going to be totally honest here.
I'm not going to blush, am I?
You might. I thought I'd be having sex with joy and expectation and looking forward to it.
I thought I'd be having sex with Joy and she never turned up. I made dinner and everything.
I'm being serious. Shut up.
All right. Okay.
And I really thought that would go on into my 80s, hopefully into my 90s.
Bloody Nora.
Shut up. But
no,
if I
don't think about these things.
But when this started, when perimenopause started, I thought, you know what? If I never have sex again, it really doesn't matter. That's not me.
Say that again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are obviously lubricants one can use. There's the one everyone's heard of, which is KY jelly. There are others specifically made for helping vaginal dryness. Never, ever, ever use an oil-based lubricant. I have to put that in really strongly because oil-based lubricants or hand creams or anything like that can affect.
WD-40?
You are so...
What? Adorable. Is that the word you're looking for?
You are adorable, but you're also... You're a boy. You're such a boy.
Yeah, long may it last.
Yeah, well, you keep saying that. I have yet to see evidence.
Shut up.
I have no evidence of that. But seriously, condoms and anything other than a water-based lubricant don't work together. One can buy lubricants over the counter in the pharmacy. One can go and see a GP about menopause. But the problem is so many... Thank you, Eve. Eve agrees about WD-40.
No,
so many GPs have had no training about menopause at all.
I'm more concerned about and I'm not decrying any of this, but the mental side of it, because people always think, oh, you know, she's done this, but people's personality, what change, and that is weird as hell.
Russ, I really think the first bout of depression I had, I've tried to trace it back, started when I was perimenopausal. That was the first notion that I wasn't happy and it wasn't going away. And I think that was the trigger. Since then...
And how long? So what was the lead up time?
In terms of the depression or...
Yeah. When you started to think, I'm depressed.
Oh, very, very soon after the perimenopausal symptoms started. I mean, the not focusing and the wet hair and all the rest of it, and then feeling depressed. And I thought, am I depressed because I'm not focusing? Am I depressed because of this? I have no reason to be depressed. And that was the thing. There is no reason why this should. And suddenly, but I went to the GP, or my then practice. I've changed practices. I saw 3 female GPs, none of whom helped me. That was the interesting.
You saw 3 female GPs?
3 female GPs, because I got no answers from any of them. And in the end, I was running a training course for school nurses. And something came up about symptoms, and I was describing something. And one of the nurses on the course said, Lesley, I am a specialist menopause nurse. I think I can help you. And she and I talked, and she actually said to me, I will come with you to your GP if you need me to.
Wow.
Or give you a letter, whatever. What a lot of women don't know is, excuse me, they can ask for a referral to a specialist menopause clinic. Most of the general hospitals have them, and you can get referred. And it's much better to see someone who is a specialist in it, who understands it, than ask somebody who perhaps doesn't want to say, I'm really sorry, I don't know enough about this.
Which is both annoying on one hand, irritating and concerning, because you go there thinking they're going to solve my problem because I'm a civilian, I don't know. Then they don't know, and you feel completely lost. You see, everyone, I hope you understand why I wanted Lesley to talk about this. I know I josh around with her, but because it affects both people in a relationship. I mean, if you're in a relationship, it affects both of you, because the change, it's not that you just stop having a period, boom, that's it. That's what everyone assumes. Oh, the menopause, don't have a period anymore. Great, don't have to go to the chemist and buy that every month. Fine, great. No, that's tiniest tip of the iceberg. It's all these other things, and they just don't get talked about.
Can I add one extra thing in here?
The floor is yours.
Well, this is something about postmenopause. Menopause is recognized as such usually when one hasn't had a period for a year. One goes a whole year without a period, and then you're said to be in menopause, as in menses paused. It's the Latin. And that's fine. However, something really crucial I would like all women to be aware of is if you get post-menopausal bleeding, whether it's a couple of spots or it's a few days worth, please, please, please immediately contact your GP because it could be a sign of a vaginal or cervical or uterine cancer.
Right.
And
right.
I had a postmenopausal bleed, and I'd read an article by, I have a favorite gynecologist who I follow on social media. She's a phenomenal woman called Dr. Anita Mitra, and she's known as the Gynae Geek. And I had read an article that she'd written about postmenopausal bleeding. So when it happened to me, I thought, don't ignore this. Don't pretend it's not happening.
Right.
I mean, apart from the fact I thought, oh God, I thought this was all over. And I went to my GP. Within 2 days, I was referred to a specialist where I had a scan. And this is all NHS.
Right.
And 3 days later, I was in hospital. As it happened, there was no cancer.
You were okay, though?
I was fine. But the specialist said to me, you've done absolutely the right thing. And it's crucial because the sooner one deals with it, obviously, the better.
Sure. So much to talk about here.
Huge amount.
I think we need, I mean, I'm not giving you the bombs rush now, but we need to get you back on this, maybe on Friday or something, because I think there's a hell of a lot to chew over. There's a lot to discuss. And it's really interesting, the comments coming in from the guys. And I was a little dubious. I thought, they might. Record numbers watching now. Record numbers watching and listening. And hi to everybody on Deluxe Radio. Something like 42,000 of you listening at the moment. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciating it. I'm Russ Kane. This is with Lesley de Meza. It's talking about perimenopause, etc. The psychological side, if we put the physical side, the psychological impact on this is huge, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it can really break up relationships. You can see how, because suddenly the person you've been with for years, let's say, arguably, it's just not the same person. You think, what's going on here? Is it me? Has she found somebody else, doesn't like me anymore? And they can't help it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely that. I mean, what I would love to do one day, if you've got the time, is do a Q&A with the listener about this. And you know me, I'll answer questions on anything. It doesn't faze me.
All right. Let's absolutely do. Would everybody like that? I don't normally. I like to be a benevolent despot, not really that democratic, but I think that's exactly what we're going to do. And this is from Ramsey. I know we were mucking about. Ramsey says, thank you for all your fabulous comments, which I haven't been reading out. I've just put them on the screen. Thanks, Lesley, for being so open about the issue. Oh. It's what we tried to, when we set up MRS, that's what we wanted to do. And David Wimble, who's the big grand fromage at Deluxe Radio and many other things, that's it. And also Veronica Curran, if I got time, I got time. It says, men need to understand as they're so badly affected by this, it creates such a wedge in loving relationships.
Absolutely.
Because knowledge, it takes one level of that horrible, you can think, all right, now I understand what's going on. If I understand it, I can start to deal with it. But if I don't understand it, I'm all at sea, it can really cause problems. Yeah. This is coming in all the way from Edinburgh, and I won't do the voice. Fantastic idea. It's so valuable for men as we need to protect their partners.
Yeah.
We do, and we want to keep the relationships, let's be absolutely honest, we want to keep the relationships going. And
I haven't even begun to talk about HRT yet.
Right. Well, we need you back for about 72,000 shows. I'm going to let you go. Bless you. Lovely, Demeza. You are a joy. I'm going to call you a national treasure, which I think
Oh,
you are.
darling, thank you.
I think you are. No, you're terrific. We will see you. I can't see you Wednesday.
No, you
but
can't.
But maybe see you Friday if we can.
I could be your birthday present.
All I need is a choir. Right. So, thank you,
And
everybody.
me.
You've been absolutely marvelous. I'm Russ Kane. This is Lesley Demeza. This is Men's Radio Station. I'll be back at 12 o'clock on Wednesday. Until then, try and stay safe.